Okay, so in case you missed it, Donald Trump, you bought it, saw Tom Homan was on CNN. And I truly believe that the one thing these people on the left don't understand about this man is Tom Homan is not a politician, bro. The man is just there to do his job. And God bless him for that. Watch this.
So how many days after Trump is sworn in before this effort to carry out the mass deportations begins? I know you said it starts on day one, but after how many days will we actually start to see that happening?
Day one. Day one will be ICE officers across the country will be out on the streets. Right out of the gate, President has made it clear, and I've made it clear, the priority right out of the gate is public safety threats and national security threats. And there's plenty of them to find, right? I looked at the data under the Biden administration. The deportation of criminal aliens have decreased 74%. So we have all those folks that the Biden administration failed to deport, plus you got this over 10 million encounters on the southern border that came across. We got a lot of them to look for too. So the public safety threats are plenty, and it's going to keep us busy.
On this effort overall, in terms of what you believe you need, and you're obviously deeply familiar with how this works and what's ahead of you, you had previously said about $86 billion was the minimum this project will cost. Do you have a better estimate now as you've been developing your plan?
I never said 86 billion. That was a CNN reporter that said 86 billion. I don't know what that number is right now. Again, we're working on the plan. Again, depends on how many resources I have and what the cost is going to be. But I'll say this, 86 billion, I mean, what price you put on the young women that have been murdered and raped in this country? What price you put on, the lives of all these little girls that, there's numerous cases. What price you put on national security? Because we know a record number of people on terrorist watch that's been called on the southern border. We also know there's over 2.2 million gotaways. How many of them came from countries sponsoring terror? What price you put on the thousands of angel moms and dads who their children were buried by their parents because their children were killed by someone that's not supposed to be here? There's a lot of cost factor. But let me say this. This will be an expensive operation, but in the long run, it would be a huge tax savings on the American people, because right now they're spending billions of dollars on free airline tickets, free hotel rooms, free medical care. Not talking about our education system, our trauma and hospitals, and
sir,
and that's in perpetuity. And that's in perpetuity.
Well, and to be clear, I understand you'll be making that argument about why you need this money to Congress. I was just curious how much you're guessing it'll cost, because obviously, as you noted, it's going to be expensive. You're going to have to ask Congress for that money. What is your goal over the 4 years of the total number of people that you would like to? If you have the number of beds that you would like, if you have the number of ICE deportation officers and others that can help you with that, what is your ultimate number of that deportation that you would like to see when you're done with your job?
What question is that?
I don't have a number. We want to arrest as many people as we can that are in the country illegally, again, based on prioritization. We want to arrest every criminal, every gang member that's here illegally, that's a public safety threat. We want to arrest every fugitive, those who had due process at great taxpayer expense and have an ordered deportation but didn't leave and became a fugitive. We got over 1.5 million of those. And look, we got millions of people here illegally. I've said, if you're here illegally, you're not off the table. I mean, it's a violation of law. It's a crime to enter this country illegally. And after we give you
but
due
you don't have a
process,
number that you'd like to see.
An immigration judge.
1 year from tonight, you don't have a number that you'd like to say, this many people have been deported on my watch.
Why would he have a number?
No, I don't have a number. I want to arrest as many people as we can with the resources we have. We want to be the most efficient we can based on prioritization. There's no limit.
As you know, there's a lot of mixed status households in the United States. Do you plan to take both parents into custody if there are minor children in the house?
If you're in the country illegally and you got order of deportation, we're going to arrest you, we're going to detain you, we're going to remove you. If they have a U.S. citizen child, if they chose after they come to the country illegally and chose after been ordered removed to have a U.S. citizen child, and think, okay, the court order doesn't mean anything anymore, the removal order doesn't mean anything anymore, then what kind of message we send into the whole world? Go ahead and cross the border illegally, which is a crime, ignore a judge's order of deportation, but have a baby, and you're fine. If we do that, then shut down the immigration court because the orders don't mean anything
Pretty
anymore.
much.
Take the border patrol off the border.
Pretty
We
much.
can't send a message to the whole world that you can violate laws of this country and not leave as required by judge and have a U.S. citizen child. You're okay. That child can stay. They can stay with a relative. They can stay with the other parent, or they can take them with them. We don't deport U.S. citizens, but they put themselves in the position. We didn't.
Would the kids go, if both parents, though, are deported, would you put the children in foster care if there's not a relative? Child Protective Services, what does that look like?
Well, that's up to the parent. I call that parenting 101. It's up to the parent what they want to do. That's their child. But the bottom line is having a child in this country does not make you immune from our laws. If that's the message we send to the rest of the world, you're never going to solve the best West courses.
What would you be asking ICE agents to do in that scenario?
To arrest and deport people who are ordered to remove by a federal judge. That's what they're going to do. The parents can make the decision on their child. That's their decision.
So when you argued recently about, when you were asked about family separation, you said families can be deported together. That's how you would avoid that. I mean, you're saying that U.S. citizen, that U.S. born child would have the choice to either go with their parents or to stay here in the United States without their parents.
That's the decision of the parents. And again, we can't send a message to the whole world that you can circumvent our laws by simply having a U.S. citizen child when you know you're here illegally. They made that decision. They put their families in that position, not us. We're going to enforce the laws enacted by Congress and signed by a president. If people don't like the laws, they can certainly have the laws changed by Congress. But we're going to do what the American people want us to do, enforce the laws enacted by Congress and what Congress funds us to do.
And obviously, this could be a reality that you are facing in just a few weeks or a few months from now. The other question that I've heard so much about this is the massive impact that these large removals could have on the construction or agriculture or hospitality industry. Is that something that you're keeping in mind as you're making these plans?
Yeah, that'd be part of the prioritization, but let's remember it's illegal to hire an illegal alien and employ illegal alien because there are a number of reasons. Undercuts wages. People hire an illegal alien for a couple of reasons. Number one, they can work them harder, pay them less, and undercut their competition who has U.S. citizen employees. It's against the law to hire an illegal alien, and we'll be enforcing that law too because worksite enforcement is coming back. Where do I find most victims of trafficking, sex trafficking, and forced labor? At work sites. And this administration stopped that. So if we're serious about human trafficking, both forced labor and forced sex trafficking, that's where we find the victims. That's where we save the victims. So worksite enforcement is coming back in a big way.
Bruh, all she's trying to do is being dramatic. And what happened to nobody is above the law? The left love saying that nobody is above the law. Answer this for me. If you are a U.S. citizen and you commit a crime, do they let you go just because you have children? Exactly. This man is on a mission. God bless Tom Homan. You let me know what you think about this in the comment section. God bless you and your family. Catch you on the next one. She's not a reporter.